Hey, how's it going? So, today I want to talk about, um, well, sort of, okay, look, I did something and have upset myself. Wasn't practicing what I preach. And I don't know if I specifically said so here, but, it goes right along with all the other relationship stuff that I've talked about. And I don't mean necessarily like a love relationship, but a relationship between friends, acquaintances. And, sorry, that was bothering me. um, but, okay, I've had multiple Facebook accounts, and it has always been the place where it's people that I know from home that I've actually been in the same room with and shared the same air and have known for years. And I sort of think of it as my phone book. But there are also people on there that are friends of friends, and that'll be a way that I know people on there or will be acquainted with them. Or in the case of, there are a lot of people that are acquainted with me that may not know me or have ever even really spoken to me. And that is because I used to be in a band. Well, I was in several, but I was in one, my first one, that pretty much everyone I'm talking about knows me from. And it was called Mad Society. There were several versions, so if you want to look it up and know about the part that I'm in, it's the first version. And I would look up like Mad Society 1981 or Mad Society with Kathy Sample. Otherwise, you're going to get other versions that I had nothing to do with, except that for a while I was letting them play the songs that I wrote. I put a stop to that. But anyway, that's how people that I've never really met will know who I am. So this person, I met a person on there, and I've had, the reason why I've had a number of accounts there is because of just problems with the people impersonating famous people or people I know, which is what they're doing now. And I know it's not like the people that either I know them or else it's a friend of a friend, but it's not that person. It's like a scammer impersonating them. And I think I know who it is, actually. It's been going on since 2015, and it just is relentless. And it's this person, and they have this personality, and it maybe has been other people at other times, but there's a consistent stupidity to this person that kind of marks them as that person. And they just keep trying. Like, I don't know what they think they're going to do. Like, what are they going to get out of it? But this is not about that person. So it's just to illustrate that I have left Facebook a number of times because of that person or people like that just making it unpleasant to be there. Just like, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about that. So I had a new phone last year, and it came loaded with Facebook, and I actually needed to find someone on there, one of my friends, to speak to about something. So I went back and I had to start yet another account because I don't remember all those old passwords. But anyway, the previous time before I got this phone, the previous account that I had on there, I had met this person. And it was someone that friends of mine knew. I didn't know them personally, and they knew me from like band or whatever, just from the scene in Hollywood. I don't have a recollection of this person at all. Like, I don't know that we met. I don't remember that we even talked about it very much, except that he knew who I was, and I don't know who the fuck he is. So, And this happened both times, in this previous account that I had, and then the account that I started when I got this other phone last year. We were getting along fine. I was having fun. We're talking music, animals, art, whatever it is, movies. And then all of a sudden they start to fly their Trump flag, and I'm not into it. And that I blocked him. I blocked him on that old account, and then I just did it again. And I got mad at that person because I was like, don't you remember? This is what happened the last time. This is why I just cut you the hell off. And I want to say some things about why I would do that, because someone is trying to be my friend but is into Trump. I have friends that are into Trump, way into Trump. Q people, MAGA, I have, and I don't have a problem with them about the Trump thing. It's not a secret, my feelings about the man. I didn't vote for him. I wouldn't vote for him. I cautioned them not to. And they didn't seem to know who he was, except for from The Apprentice. But I remember him from the 1970s, so I trust my judgment more than theirs, because I've had more years of him being a certain consistent way. But that's neither here nor there. That's how I feel about Trump has nothing to do with politics. In fact, I don't hate the man. I feel like I understand him a lot, because he's always had really noxious, horrible things to say about other people. And I always think, if that's where you're starting off with people, and that's how people are seeing you, you got to be pretty miserable inside. Because I know I'm not the only one to have noticed this, but if it's complimentary to him in any way, he loves it. And he's great, and he's nice, and he's charming, and has good qualities. We all have them, and even if we're not great people. But the thing is that's kind of where it ends with him. And then after that, it's all combative and just not nice, name calling, and just finding terrible things to say about other people that also seem to reflect things about him that maybe he's not aware is observable by other people. We can see these things about him that he's complaining about other people, and you're going, yeah, but you do the exact same thing. Yeah, but you're the same way. And in regard to what I just said, I also cannot see myself the way other people can. I understand that. I just wanted to be clear. So but I feel like for Trump, that comes from a place of pain, not all of it, only liking stuff that's complimentary to him or beneficial to him. That's a sign of insecurity to me, and not that he's this big, great man that some of the people that admire him think that he is. And the stuff that they say that he does, and how, the kind of person that he is, I don't agree. I don't see that. I see other stuff. Be that as it may, though, that's not to do with politics as far as I'm concerned. Although I don't think he has any business there, because he's not there for politics. He's, I think, there to get lots of people looking at him and liking him, and to make money. And that's fine, except for that particular job. I wish people wouldn't go there to do that. So, but the people that like him, I have noticed there's levels. And like I said, there's ones that I can totally hang with and talk to, and it's never a problem. Okay? Because we don't talk about it. I don't bring it up. They don't bring it up. I haven't said not to. They just know not to. And then I'm not constantly like ragging on the guy and ragging on MAGA people and all of that. Like, no, there's enough people doing that. You don't need another one. But there are a lot of conversations I see, like online, on like on the alternative news shows that you can see on YouTube, where it comes up quite often, like how like the MAGA thing is like breaking up families because people just are not agreeing, and that's not good. That's not good for that family, and it's not good for anyone's family, and it's just not good for all of us to feel so strongly about a person or a policy or a thing that we can't even have a conversation anymore. But like I said, I think there's levels. I feel like I've seen levels, and it's like, and this goes both ways, Democrat or Republican, right or left. Here's what I don't want to see in my timeline. I don't want to see posts that say, do you like Trump better than Biden? And I'm not using the verbiage that they use because it's often inflammatory and insulting, really, to either man. Whichever side does it, I don't want to see that crap in there. Like, you want to have that little contest? Cool. Do it in your head. That's in your head talk. I don't need to know about it. And then after that, it becomes, you know, that's already like not good. And then after that, it becomes, well, this politician did, or, you know, this Democratic politician did that, or in this case, Biden did this, and he said he wasn't going to do it, you know, during his campaign, which was sell oil rights for drilling. So this person posted this thing, and it's all, well, he did this. What do you think of Trump now? And I'm like, same. He also made a bunch of promises he didn't keep, not just on his campaign. So I don't want to hear that garbage. I don't want to have those kind of, like, that's getting real close to an argument to me. And I won't engage in it, but I also don't want to look at it in my timeline. So then it will escalate from there to just insulting each other because you're behind one president or the other, you know, and one ain't president anymore. That's something to remember. Like, whatever. There are people that think, oh, well, yes, he is too, and there's just this facade and this charade happening that's like running the whole country, and that to me doesn't compute. Like, the guy that's in there is the president. He's the one doing the stuff. He's doing stuff that Trump would never do, so it's not Trump in disguise. Like, they just, I don't know. If I hear stuff and then I think about it and it just unravels. So that's a reason I don't want that in my timeline. That's like curb trash, you know, gutter trash. Get out of here with that. And, you know, but then it turns into everybody just like arguing with each other, and it turns into name calling, and everybody's angry. And I'm like, I don't want that in my timeline because neither guy gives a living crap about you. Although I will say, one expressly pretty much only cares about himself and what benefits him, as I said, and then the other one kind of cares, kind of helps. I mean, he does help. He does do his job. He does things I don't want him to do, or he has done. Now he's not. I'm kind of not really even paying attention anymore. But he has a history, Biden, that I could like make a lot of comments about that I don't like, but it's kind of like at some point you got to just let it go. Just like, you know, I actually only voted for Biden, I got to say honestly, because I didn't want Trump. And it was the same with Hillary. I didn't want her either, but I definitely didn't want Trump. Like, I felt like the Democrat was the better choice. And I know there can be a lot of argument back and forth about that. I don't care. I'm not having it. as far as they go, as presidents, excuse me, I didn't want either of them. And the one that I voted for, and then many, many people voted for, someone came along and decided, you know what, we begged all of you people to vote, and here are all of your votes, and you're strongly saying we don't want these people, and we do want these people because numbers and primaries. And then the general election comes along, and the whole, whatever the king of the party decides, you know what, this is what we want, though. Screw all those people that we begged to vote and come here and, get all invested in it. Screw them. Like, they did what we needed them to do. This is what we think is better for the country. And so why the hell am I voting? I don't even want to anymore. The only reason I keep doing this is because Cryon keeps saying, you got to do it. You got to keep voting. Seriously, that's the only reason. Because whoever's in there is going to either do like a decent job or a crappy job. We've had both. I don't think that, aside from people actually physically storming the Capitol and taking out politicians, I don't think the government's going to stop rolling and doing most of what it always does. But see, now I've gotten all sidetracked talking about all that political stuff, which is why I don't want it in my timeline. But here's the thing. This guy posted something, Trump, in my timeline, and I kind of can't get mad at him for doing it this time, because he did it the last account that I mentioned before, and I was like, I don't want nothing to do with this. And we didn't discuss it, but then and now it's not in my timeline. Like the politics and stuff, like I'm not posting it. A couple of other people that I'm friends with every once in a while will post something. They're on the other side of the fence or aisle or whatever, and I generally agree with them, but I'm not posting, like, I'm just not doing it anymore for my own reasons. And also, the ones that are doing it are my old friends that I have grown up with, basically, so I'm not gonna tell them not to have their opinion, but they're also, to me, like, sometimes they're, like, argumentative, and they'll get in arguments with people in their feeds, but I don't mess with that. But see, that's what I'm getting at. My feed is public, so anyone can put anything in there, so it's not really my feed, So, last account, dude posted some Trump stuff. Like, it wasn't just one thing. Like, you get a few strikes with me, or a couple few, before I just discard. But this time, he posted the thing, and I was like, don't have a cow, man. Just, it's cool. He just posted a thing. Like, literally, he just posted a thing. Big deal. And then a couple of weeks later, I did have to calm myself and say, don't freak out. Because I remember this person, and I was worried. I'm not worried, but I was wondering how long it was going to be before it came up again. Or if it would. I was hoping. See, I didn't say when I just blocked them before. I just did it. And because they don't find Trump offensive, they maybe didn't realize that I did, and that's why I left. And again, this time I also didn't say. But here's what happened. He posted the thing, and I was like, fine, I'm just going to let it lie, even though it's bugging me. And then I saw, I don't even remember, it must have been on Twitter, that I saw this meme. And it was a picture of Trump, and it had like a title, and it had some other stuff down below, which when I saw this meme, it was a picture of Trump, and it said Old Yeller at the top. And I just thought that was funny, because he's old, and it sounds to me like he's yelling all the time, and I think he might have a little bit of hearing loss. And that was it. It wasn't like a statement about the whole Trump anything. It was just that one thing, and I thought it was funny. But when I posted it, and I didn't look at whatever it said down below, which I probably should have, because it was probably something I wouldn't want to see someone else post in my timeline. Anyway, I posted that and I said, sorry, but this was funny. And I was apologizing to me for putting it there, like, because I don't normally do that, because I don't want to start a fight. I don't want to get into an argument with somebody about the guy. And then after that, he posted something else, and it escalated the post in the way that I talked about him. I was like, and I just blocked him. I didn't say anything, and I did think about it this time. Not long enough. I should have thought about it longer, because almost immediately after I did it, I regretted it. It was like, God, you couldn't wait like 10 more minutes, because here's what the conclusion was that I came to. At the very least, I could have gone to the guy and said, look, all these things happened before with the Trump posting and me blocking you. And so I could have gone to him and said, look, I'm not into that. So if you think that's cool, I don't want to be friends. And I would rather actually do that in retrospect, but retrospect don't always work for you. So here's the thing, like, I was all, well, doesn't anybody believe in second chances anymore? Like, has no one ever screwed up and thought better of it later? And that this has been something that's happened in the past couple of months, where it wasn't at all the same kind of dynamic, like completely different. But I still had to sort of make a separation between myself and someone else. But I did tell that person what was going on. I was like, look, you're famous. I had people for years, like 2 or 3 a freaking month, like coming on my pages and my sites, whatever, my feeds, pretending to be famous people that they're not. And I always know that, sometimes I have to like talk to them for a little bit to find out exactly what I'm dealing with, but the fake ones, usually you can tell right away. It's actually the real ones that are a little bit harder to discern, because they're suspicious, I'm suspicious, but this person approached me. I happened to be purging a lot of emotion at the time, so I really had like monkey goblin vibes, and I knew it. And I was on like Twitter, and I was just like, all I was doing, I was keeping it to liking and like retweeting and not saying anything, because I didn't trust myself. And then this person approached me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really like this person, I really like their work. But once we started conversing, I was just hit by these massive waves from this person. They're very talented. They're very I have a freaking powerful vibe, man. It just like, I was weak and it knocked me over. And I should have been ready for that too. Like, I tell myself a lot of stuff, but how true is it when it comes into practice? Not much often. I'm finding out like over and over. But I, as politely as I could, said, look, I'm happy to go on being like a booster of your work, but I can't right now. Like, I can't talk. And I didn't even say that. I just said, look, I'm not sure who you are. I think you are, but let's just, this is good. And I don't think that they didn't take it well at all. And then like a couple of weeks later, when I was done with my purging and I was more myself, I tried to get them to respond to me again, and they wouldn't. So sometimes you just get a person that's not willing to give you a second chance. So now back to this person from Facebook that I blocked, and I now regret blocking, because I want to tell them why I did it. And I feel bad, because in both instances, I was getting along well with this person. And then it was at that point that I realized, wait a minute, maybe they're not, like, I'm all offended with their bringing Trump into my space, but this person has tried twice to be friends with me, and I keep blowing them off. Like, what is wrong with you, you idiot? And I want to be able to meet people at their level. Like, so what if they're into Trump? Like, big deal. Like, maybe if he would have posted something stupid, I could have just said, hey, that's stupid, get that out of here, and dealt with whatever the consequences were, but I didn't. So I tried to go back, and of course he blocked me back. And I was like, okay, I know a person that we have a mutual friend, and this is a person that I can tell this stuff to. I'm just not sure if I want to involve them, you know. I think I would just want to ask them to tell bro, she fucked up, she wants to apologize, you know, unblock. And I might have to do that. But I wanted to get out here and say, like, you know, we are so... No, I'm not going to do a we. I'm going to do an I can't talk for other people. I've become, like, very defensive and very suspicious, and I am not... No, I will give a second chance, but... man, I'm not as, like, easygoing as I would like to believe. As I would like to believe myself, but this incident just proved to me, no, you're not easygoing. You're totally touchy still. Like, you gotta work on that. I just thought it was worth it to mention that here I was going through all these things, getting upset with this person, and not realizing, like, well, you caused this. You put a stop to this when maybe you didn't have to. And so I think that I could probably go back to this person and tell them what all I just said. I'm still deciding if that's a good idea or not. But he already has given me a second chance, and I have blown it, you know, by being, I feel like I was stupid about it. Like, how... Give an inch, will ya? That's what I'm saying to myself now. And we should be thinking that this, I'm going to say we on this, because people laugh at, like, oh, oneness and unity and blah, blah, blah. You know, as long as we blah, blah, blah it, then I guess that's what it's going to be. But actually, it's a real thing. Why are people so lonely and upset and can't relate? Is because we have separated ourselves from each other so much and filled our heads up with so much differences between each other, which, how real are they? A lot of them, how real are they? Like, I think we're making mountains out of molehills a lot, like I just did with this person. And I have to watch that. Like, just another thing I have to keep track of myself on. But I mean, I'm glad I'm aware of it. I'm glad I'm thinking of it. I'm thinking of how to gracefully approach this person and see if I can't, like, repair things. Because why did I do that? We were having fun. This is a nice person. And I could talk to them about the other thing, you know? Like, maybe leave that out. That's why I started doing it. I used to do that. Every time I look at my old pages, I'm like, wow, you were really angry. Yeah, so hostile. What's wrong with you? But each one I've become successively less so. And I want to keep that rolling. So, I don't know. I just felt like this was worth sharing. Like, just that I realized that sometimes people are doing stuff to you and you can feel some things, and that's fine. But it doesn't mean that you didn't play a part in it yourself. it's not always about, everybody's not always attacking me, and I have to kind of be aware of that. But it's hard because somebody is always attacking me, god darn it. And I think I know who it is. I think it's Mr. I'm an AI boy, Mick Fuckhead. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'm not McLovin' it, though, so knock it off, wiener. Yeah. That was a cryptic secret message for the person that's been bugging me for all these years, I think. Anyway, now that I've gotten that off my chest, I feel better. I got to do some more meditating before I decide if I'm going to go to the other friend and say, can you hook us up? But I think I will eventually. I just got to, get myself a little more straightened out. Anyway, I think that's all I had to say. Thank you and good night.